Hello guys, how are you doing all? Uh, I would say we end this week and yeah, probably start a new. How are you doing all? Sorry, I had me doubled. Um, yeah, let's start the week, or let's say let's end this week and look for setups in the new week. I do it on Friday now. This Outlook could have done it on Saturday or Sunday. So if you watch it on Saturday or Sunday or even Monday, most likely it doesn't matter at all. And yeah, let's don't waste too much time. I want to quickly analyze some setups from last week. Let's start, yeah, with the obvious one, with the loss. To be honest, guys, I got stopped out. There were ways. If when was this Friday? Yeah, somehow you could have managed it to be a break-even trade. Maybe if you this was Friday, yeah, maybe if you entered this also Friday, somewhere here on some kind of confirmation or something, it would be maybe a break-even trade. For me, it was a loss. It was not optimal. It was a little bit. Don't want to say forced, but you could tell it was forced, and I would be fine. It was valid overall. We were undervalued here all the time. The level was so la la. Say it this way. Seasonality wise, also pretty interesting. Yes, in seasonality combined overall. In the usual seasonality, let's say it this way, it is a strong seasonal play, but since we are in post-election cycle, it's not that strong. We can check it later. There are some seasonal plays even in the post-election cycle, but they are way shorter and not as significant. Like if you are in the normal post pre-election cycle or something, or like all years combined. So the post-election is clearly weaker. So that was a loss. It's okay. Maybe we can get a re-entry here. We just discuss it later. And it's not a problem. I think I also called the Swissy, and this was from last week, I think, the annotation. Exactly. So I wrote it here. Market short SL above the hammer. And this is, like I said, how I entered. And yeah, this is a very good trade. Not the biggest R yet, but for a daily swing, not too bad. Now it looks even more bearish here. So we could expect some more follow through here if this level doesn't hold. Yeah, then this would be maybe a target if you are in this trade. So don't hesitate to take some profits, maybe even here, even it's not the biggest RR, but yeah, we will see why later. Yeah, unfortunately, I didn't get filled on this. I had the second entry. Who was it? I said limit order on the lower time frame. I had my order like this. Yeah, because this would be more or less the same entry like the hammer candle. Um, so I wanted a little better risk reward, and we never got filled. If you would have taken here the wider version, it would be also a nice entry. Risk reward wise, at least the 1 to 2. So yeah, that would be a nice way to add. I didn't got filled, but still makes a loss from the NQ back. And excuse me, guys, I didn't watch my Outlook. I don't know if I called any other things. Um, but I think that's all. Yeah, the euro, same trade basically. Short from here, nice move to the downside. So that played out pretty well. And like we said, the seasonality was clearly, you see it here, last week down. And it played out beautifully, even if you weren't overvalued here or something. But yeah, it was downtrend, seasonal play. Nice. Okay, that's from last week. Excuse me, I know we looked at some other stuff, but I think I didn't give an exact entry. I wasn't filled anywhere else. Um, but let's see what we got for next week or maybe even for today. And that's clearly net gas. And it was a little annotation. Net gas, I'm already short. It took a little bit heat right now. I shorted yesterday this candle as a confirmation because we are in some kind of weekly supply. It's not that clear. Um, don't worry about this. This is from the back adjusted chart. The zone above. It could be also come into play, but yeah, let's wait. You see some sideways action here. The problem is now, and I saw it too late, we took this zone out. So we created here a little new high, and then we made the short move, and that's not ideal. I saw it too late. It was a mistake by myself. But yeah, we make some new lows on the 4-hour chart. Um, Entry option one was this limit here, like I painted it. And the second one then was this hammer candle. And this is how I entered. Like I said, a lot of feeds this night. Somehow in Asia, they wanted to see higher prices. Um, but yeah, I'm still in, and let's see how this play out. Target, yeah, seasonal wise, it's yeah, maybe not next week, but the week after latest. And you know, seasonal is always all often very delayed or too early. So this was a valid entry for me. Also, we are overvalued on the long term, and this also plays out pretty nicely. Short term, no overvalued, so maybe yeah, it could be possible that we um, come up higher, getting overvalued on the short term, and then get the short moves that would be matching with seasonality. But yeah, maybe it continues to drop. So if you want, you can also put a stop order right here so that you only get filled if the price continues to drop, and if it rises, you are out. So let's put it here. Sell stop below the, let's call it engulfing. Okay. SL I would put above, or you can cover the level. I'm like it a little bit more aggressive, so I put my stop here. And yeah, take profit, either new lows or better for me these daily levels. Okay. Yes, so that's one thing I have new. Don't worry, we will discuss other setups. The other one from last week, Lean Hogs. At least it looks like we see some bottom now. I mentioned last time I won't take a limit here. Would have worked for maybe no 0.3 R right now. But I will wait, yeah, on the 4-hour, a little bit how I trade. I wait for higher highs, and then I will see how I can get an entry. Um, yeah, also overvalued now somehow. Um, I think this is a little bit, yeah, this looks better. This is because of the heavy rollover gaps, a little bit off. Not an A plus setup for me, just something I just like to have on my radar, okay? So yeah. Sugar, same for me. I'm not in yet. It was all set, it was all valid. But yeah, I'm a little bit scared here that the seasonal plays a little bit delayed. So um, yeah, I also will wait for some downward structure here. If we come back into a nice zone, and then I'm more than happy to enter. But I can imagine that we come into this weekly level, so that would be ideal for me. I like to trade off weekly levels, um, like this one. Okay, it's a little bit to go. Seasonal wise, it would be very delayed then because we had a seasonal long pattern, if you remember from down here. And in hindsight, I mean, this is a 4 hour chart. It looks okay. We got one bullish candle, but it wasn't wasn't the way we would have expected it. Okay. So yeah, and this is just a little bit, yeah, messy for me, if you know, a lot of range. So this is on hold, yeah, but not for longs anymore, only for shorts and still sidelined here, okay? For me at least. Then I've got something interesting. I talked about it last week already. The wheat play. And here it's got now pretty interesting. So this was basically the high on this candle, made new lows. And now you think it looks a little bit off because we took this high here and the hammer candle didn't work. But this is the unadjusted chart and we got a rollover gap here, okay? And if you see, we are here still on the back adjusted. We never took this high out again. Okay, so this weekly entry candle here was still valid. And if we switch here on the 4 hour to the back adjusted, we see here also an entry on the wider version. So yeah, sometimes it's just always with the wider version here, um, would have played out perfectly, you know. New low, come back higher, damn. So this is basically the stuff we look at. Seasonal supported, overvalued, nah, not really, but not required at all, just an add-on. On the daily, yeah, we got the formation here where you could have entered here on this daily candle, but nothing like a signature candle or something I would like to see. But yeah, this would be now on break even. Lot of profit already. I'm not in, fully honest with you. Missed it. Like I said, I had the eye on the wider, on the preferred version. Anyhow, you see how this week is closing probably. Yeah, so we got another huge engulfing weekly candle, and obviously I won't enter here on the weekly like this because that's too big for me, you know. I mean, see how far the price needs to travel to make one R, yeah. We got 2R. Yeah, we got this level here, but I'm not interested in trades like this, and we have this zone here. So what I will do, I will look for the 4 hour chart, and I pointed out this level here. Now I will take the wider. Um, New lows basically come back up. It could be also reacting here. So upon this time, I will watch out for a confirmation entry. Yeah, like we see or we saw on net gas. And finally, this thing is a little bit dropping. It makes me hope at least, but most likely I will be disappointed later on. Anyhow, so yeah, some candles like this. I mean, you see basically the red and the green ones and the orange candles. Something like this I want to look for if we come back into the zone, okay? And This is again the back adjusted chart. That's why we took out this weekly level here. But if you are on an unadjusted, and in the end, the unadjusted is the more honest chart. Let's put it that way. We didn't took out here any highs, okay? So it's a little bit tricky, you know. You see this chart and think if you enter here, you're stopped out. No, even on the CFD and if on the contract, and if you entered on the future, which you can trade, you're still in the trade, yeah, and it's looking really good. Okay. So yeah, also on read, I want to quickly show you that. And let me put up my browser here. Where is it? I need to activate it. Now you should see it, right? So this is net gas, by the way, on SeasonX. You see it here. We are now here, the red line. The red line is the current date. And yeah, end of next week, we see this huge drop. So that's why it might be that we are a little bit early because here we see seasonal-wise some strength, but only 40% win rate. And yeah, it's okay for me to enter now, otherwise we need to re-engage. But I mean, this drop, only 20% win. That means 80% win rate for shorts over the whole month of December, or at least the first week. Um, eh, but I mean, you could easily hold it whole December. Yeah. Okay. I don't use seasonality to exit. I only use it to enter and then see how far we will get. But I wanted to show you the read. Um, you see it here also. It's a little bit tiny. It's just 1 week, but also 80% win rate, 22. So basically tomorrow is Saturday. So Monday until Friday looks pretty promising, yeah, on the 10-year seasonality look back. So yeah, this is something I want to trade. And that's so far for read. Oh man, that was a little bit extended, but all right. So we got read covered, we got net gas covered, both short. Lean hogs I talked about. It's more, yeah, interesting. Sugar we talked about. So now we come to something interesting, and that's basically the dollar. And I can show you it once again here on SeasonX. Look at this. This is just downwards 8% win rate for shorts, even if you hold it until the new year. And we saw this nice rally on the dollar. It was pretty accurate. I mean, you can just see how much money you would have made if you took this trade. It was a good one. You took it like it was basically the same trade on the Swiss franc. I called yesterday, last week, um, or on the euro. So basically, yeah, this one, this move you engaged while shorting the Swiss franc or the euro, obviously. Okay. So now maybe is the time to short it again based on seasonality. We don't have any COT. Our Larry Williams COT, synthetic COT is pointing to the downwards. Okay, that's at least something. Um, and we have this nice weekly zone here. So once we are in this weekly zone, I will look for heavy shorts on the euro. Basically, we have the same level here if you have a look. It's a little bit more far below, to be honest, but this one is pretty nice on the weekly. And I won't take a limit here, don't get me wrong. But once we get in this level, I will switch to the 4 hour or look for some daily confirmation, yeah. If we come here, yeah? Obviously we are now here in this daily level, but yeah, maybe this is the bottom. We don't know, yeah. But it's just about the bias. The bias is long, not undervalued yet. forming some type. Let's wait. Let's wait for this one. Basically, the same for the Swissy. On the Swiss, we are also here in this level right now on this daily, maybe even weekly. So yeah, but not undervalued yet. And now it depends really, yeah, if we want to long it from here. Obviously a nice weekly level, but yeah, still far below, like another 2% drop. I mean, it's 1 week, basically 1 week. Or the second option is to look for longs from this zone here we are now in. And that's basically something the price action will need to tell us, right? Man, sorry, I think I covered everything I showed you due season X, right? Uh, yeah, so basically, here again, this is the lower option for the Swizzy for longs, and this is the uh, option we are now in, but I would need to see some bullish for our price action, maybe a little bit of undervaluation. And here you see the Larry Williams pointing to the upside and on the dollar to the downside. So yeah, on the dollar it's either this level or this. So timing could be done with this as well. If we come into this level on the dollar and we are still in this here on the Swissy, then obviously I will look for longs, and elsewise it will be this. But seasonal wise, it's a clear long. You even see it here on this indicator, and this confirmed with 80% win rate. So that for the currencies, and since the whole DX, the basket of the US dollar index, is pointing to the short side, seasonal wise, you could short any major currency against it, basically. So, like the Japanese yen would be another option. What do we else got? I mean, this is then a personal decision based on where you like the level the most. I don't like it on the entity. The cat has a nice, better looking level, let's say it this way, very huge. Peso I would avoid. GBP also got a nice level here. So yeah, basically you can long all of those. Pick the one that gives you the best setting. I will call someone out once we get there. Okay, so have it on your radar, guys. Pretty interesting opportunity here. And last but not least, yeah, I know the Bitcoin got destroyed like whatnot. We got into this weekly level here after we broke everything else here. But now the thing is, okay, you see it here, Larry Williams, COT, wouldn't put too much weight on it. It's at least something. And until we get our real COT back, we are undervalued everywhere, 10, 30. And now I have to show you my Safari again. Bitcoin. Yeah, now here up from next week on, we see some long opportunity here, seasonal wise. Yeah, 70 or 80%, depending with first December week. Yeah, depending, something around 70 and 80% win rate on the long side. And the last years all were positive. So yeah, but here it's more important than ever since there's so much pressure on this, and you don't want to catch the falling knife, right? So that's a good example here. Maybe we're forming here something bullish, a bullish candle now. I would never long it. So I want to see a break of structure first so that we take out this size, and you won't be late, guys. It's a 4 hour chart. The whole week, 2 weeks is bullish, so don't worry if you miss this first leg. Doesn't matter. Yeah. Or if you build something here and and then make a new high, it's also valid. And then we can look for longs, okay? So at least that's how I do it. Yeah, so have a look on it, or what also would be a nice indication, a daily candle like this. So this is a bad example. Still, this is a good example for the candle, some candle like this, but this, if you see here on the weekly, it was a no man's land. Yeah. So if you see some candle like this on the daily chart, something with a little bit strength, a little bit power. Oh no, my Safari. Oh man, I suck at this. Um, Yeah, as I said, break of structure, either here above, miss the first leg, don't problem, enter here, and then boom. Or see some, yeah, internal structure, let's call it this way, making new highs here, come down here, and then long, okay? Said basically this one. And I also said I won't enter here on this fucking 4 hour candle, because look what's against you, all this weekly, and you want to stop it with the 4 hour candle. No, never. At least I want to see a daily hammer candle or shooting star, however you know these fucking candles here. And then we can look for a long, okay, undervalued everywhere. So yeah, keep an eye on this. Don't be surprised if you take this level out and come to this lower level. Also an option. So manage your risk tightly, and then we will see. Okay, guys, that's all I have. If you have any questions, let me know. Sorry for the stuff with the Safari. That I blocked my monitor. I will make it better in the next sessions. And yeah, let me know what you think about these setups. This is our watch list. Pretty neat. And yeah, see you on the next one. Bye bye.